Secrets can shake a home, but the one rising at Heartland now is strong enough to tear the ranch apart. In episode 9, everything that was buried finally claws its way to the surface, revealing truths no one at Heartland was ready to face. A return from the past, a betrayal that cuts too deep, and a revelation that will leave Amy standing at the edge of the hardest choice of her life. Nothing stays hidden forever. And this time, the truth is coming for everyone. The morning at Heartland felt heavier than usual, as if the air itself knew something was about to break. Amy sensed it the moment she stepped outside. The ranch was quiet. Too quiet. No steady rhythm of hooves, no distant call from Jack, no soft humming from Lisa in the kitchen. It felt like the calm before a storm, the kind that didn't warn you before it hit. It just arrived. Amy brushed her hand over Spartan's mane, trying to shake the unease crawling inside her. Nathan had promised to meet her early to finish a conversation they had both been avoiding, one that carried more weight with each passing day. But it wasn't only him. The silence around the ranch felt strange, like every corner was holding its breath. Something unseen was shifting, pushing its way toward the surface. Jack stood on the porch, staring at a folded letter he kept clutched in one hand. His face was lined with worry in a way Amy hadn't seen in years. When she asked what was wrong, he simply muttered that it wasn't important. But the stiffness in his voice told her everything. Whatever was in that letter wasn't good, and he wasn't ready to share it. Lisa returned moments later, but the look on her face stopped Amy cold. Her steps were slow, her eyes hollow, as if something, or someone, had taken the floor out from underneath her. She didn't speak at first. She didn't even greet Jack. She just stood there, frozen, gripping her phone like it was the only thing keeping her standing. Jack moved closer to her, asking quietly, "What happened?" Lisa hesitated, the kind of hesitation that carries years of pain behind it. When she finally whispered the name she had just heard, Amy felt her stomach drop. It was a name she had only heard in bits and pieces, a name connected to a chapter of Lisa's life she never talked about, a chapter full of mistakes, heartbreak, and choices she had fought to bury long ago. Whoever this person was, their return wasn't just surprising, it was dangerous. Before Amy could ask anything more, she heard footsteps behind her. Nathan. His timing couldn't have been worse. The worry in his eyes told her he hadn't come with good news, and it made her chest tighten. 2 storms were coming for Heartland, one from Lisa's past, and one from the truth Nathan had been hiding. Nathan greeted Jack and Lisa softly, sensing immediately that something was wrong. Lisa tried to force a smile, but her composure cracked for a second. It was enough. Nathan looked back at Amy as if silently apologizing for adding to the weight already pressed on the ranch. Amy motioned for him to walk with her toward the barns, needing air, needing clarity, needing anything that didn't feel like the walls were closing in. But before Nathan could speak, the sound of a car rolled across the yard, slow, deliberate, unsettling. Amy turned just in time to see Lisa freeze completely. The door of the unfamiliar car opened, and the person who stepped out made the air around them shift like the ground itself understood the danger. Amy didn't know them, but her body reacted before her mind could. This wasn't a visitor. This wasn't a friend. This was a ghost returning with unfinished business. Jack's jaw tightened as he stepped in front of Lisa. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. And the silence that followed felt like the beginning of something none of them were ready for. Lisa's past had arrived at Heartland, and it was about to expose a truth that would shake the ranch to its core. The stranger's gaze moved slowly across the yard, landing on each person as if measuring their reactions. But when his eyes reached Lisa, something sharp and unspoken passed between them, something heavy enough to drain the color from her face. Amy had never seen Lisa look this shaken, not even during the worst storms, not during family crises, not even when everything felt like it was falling apart. But this was different. This was fear born from memory. Jack's voice cut through the tension, steady but edged with warning. "You're not welcome here." The man smiled, small, controlled, the kind of smile that hides more than it shows. "I'm not here for trouble," he said quietly. "I'm here for what was promised to me." Those words sent a ripple of unease through the air. Amy felt it. Nathan felt it. Even the horses in the paddock shifted nervously, sensing the darkness growing heavier. Lisa shook her head, barely able to lift her voice. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered, each word trembling. "Not now." But the man stepped closer, ignoring Jack's protective stance. "Years have passed, Lisa," he said gently, almost too gently. "But unfinished promises don't disappear. Not even here." Amy didn't know what this man meant, but the way Jack's hand tightened around the letter in his pocket made her understand one thing clearly. Whatever was happening now, he already knew more than he wanted to admit. And he had been hiding it. Nathan moved slightly closer to Amy, as if instinctively bracing for whatever was coming. But Amy couldn't focus on Nathan, not when Lisa's entire world seemed to be collapsing in front of them. Lisa took a step back, breaths uneven, eyes glassy with a mixture of anger and pain. "I told you I had nothing left to give," she said, voice cracking. "I rebuilt my life. I moved on. You can't just appear and—" The man's expression darkened. "You might have moved on, but I didn't. And neither did the truth." Those last words were heavy enough to silence everyone. Jack finally stepped forward, placing himself between Lisa and the stranger like a shield. "You need to leave," he repeated, firmer this time. "Whatever business you had with Lisa is long gone. Heartland is not where you come to reopen old wounds." For a moment, the stranger was quiet. Then he looked past Jack, straight at Amy. His stare was unsettling, as if he was searching for something familiar in her face. It made Amy instinctively step back. "That girl," he said softly. "She has no idea, does she?" Amy's stomach twisted. "No idea about what?" Lisa closed her eyes, and a single tear escaped, silent proof that the truth he carried was deeper, darker, and far more personal than Amy had imagined. Before anyone could speak, Nathan grabbed Amy's arm gently. "We should go," he whispered, clearly sensing the danger rising. But Amy didn't move. She needed answers. She needed to understand what threat had just walked into their lives and why Lisa was breaking under it. The man reached into his coat pocket slowly, making Jack tense as if preparing himself for the worst. But instead of a weapon, he pulled out a photograph. Old, worn, edges curled from time. He held it up, letting the wind catch its corners. "This," he said quietly, "is why I'm here." Amy watched Lisa's knees weaken at the sight of the photo. Jack caught her before she fell, his voice shaking as he whispered her name. Amy couldn't see the picture yet, but she already knew. Whatever was printed on that faded paper was the truth that no one at Heartland was ready for. The stranger turned to leave, but before stepping back into his car, he said one final thing. "I'll return when you're ready to talk. But remember, time always brings the truth back." The car door closed with a finality that made Amy's chest tighten. Within seconds, the vehicle rolled away, leaving behind a silence thick with questions, and a fear that whatever came next would change everything. Lisa stood trembling, unable to speak. Jack held her close, but even he seemed lost. Amy stared at the ground where the stranger had stood, knowing the truth he carried was not just Lisa's burden. Soon, it would become all of theirs. And deep down, she felt it. Heartland had just stepped into the kind of storm no one could outrun. The evening air around Heartland feels heavier than usual, as if the land itself knows a truth is about to break open. Amy returns to the barn after her conversation with Jack, but her steps are slow, uncertain, like she's walking towards something she isn't ready to face. The horses sense her unsettled heart. Harley nudges her shoulder, Lindy's pony looks at her with soft eyes, and for a moment, Amy closes her own, wishing things were simple again, wishing life didn't keep testing her. But peace never lasts in Heartland, not when secrets are still alive. Her phone buzzes again. This time it's Nathan. "Don't ignore me. We need to talk. Tonight." Amy's breath catches. The message feels like a warning, not a request. She slips the phone back into her pocket, pretending to stay calm, but her hands tremble. She knows Nathan won't give up easily, not after the promise he believes she made, the promise she never expected to return to haunt her. And now, with everyone on edge, she fears one wrong move could tear everything apart. Inside the house, Lou watches her from the kitchen window, noticing the tension in Amy's shoulders. Concern grows inside her, mixing with her own stress and unanswered questions. Lou senses something big is happening, something Amy is trying to hide. She wants to ask, but she holds back. Amy already carries too much. so Lou stays quiet, for now. Meanwhile, Jack stands on the porch, staring at the horizon as the sky darkens. His old instincts whisper caution. He knows trouble when he feels it, and tonight, something doesn't sit right. He keeps replaying his conversation with Amy, wondering what she didn't say. He's seen her scared before, but this is different. It's the look of someone expecting a storm. Back in the barn, Amy forces herself to focus on the horses, brushing them slowly, grounding her breathing, trying to stay steady. But she can't escape the thoughts crashing inside her head. What if Nathan shows up? What if Jack confronts him and things get worse? What if the truth she buried, one she hoped would stay forgotten, comes out at the worst possible moment? And then, the sound she feared most breaks the silence. A truck pulling up outside. Her heart drops. Amy freezes, brush still in her hand, breath thin as paper. She walks to the barn door and peeks through the opening. Headlights shine across the yard, piercing the night. She steps back, pulse racing. She doesn't need to see the driver to know who it is. Nathan's here. She swallows hard, panic rising up her throat. This wasn't supposed to happen tonight. She isn't ready. Not for answers, not for accusations, not for the truth she's tried to escape. The barn suddenly feels too small, too quiet, too vulnerable. Outside, the truck door slams. Jack turns, eyes narrowing. Lou steps out onto the porch behind him, and Amy, she feels her world closing in. Because the truth Nathan brings with him, the truth no one was ready for, is about to crack open Heartland in a way that will change everything. Nathan steps out of the truck with a tension that spreads through the entire ranch like a cold wind. His face carries a mix of frustration and determination, as if he's here to settle something he has been holding inside for too long. Jack watches him carefully, his jaw tightening. Lou stands behind Jack, her worry turning sharper with every step Nathan takes toward the barn. She doesn't know the full story, but she knows trouble when she sees it. Heartland has faced danger before, but this feels personal. Inside the barn, Amy's breathing turns shallow. She knows she can't hide, not when Nathan has already crossed the yard. Her heart pounds in her chest as she wipes her hands on her jeans, trying to find strength she isn't sure she has. For a moment, she wishes Ty were here, not because she needs saving, but because he always understood her silence, always steadied her when life pulled her in too many directions. But Ty isn't here to shield her from this. She has to face it alone. Footsteps approach. Jack steps forward first, blocking Nathan's path. "What are you doing here?" Jack asks in that stern, protective tone only he has. Nathan stiffens, but keeps his eyes locked on the barn. "I'm not here to cause trouble, Jack. I need to talk to Amy." But Jack doesn't move. Nathan's voice cracks slightly. "Please." That single word is enough to unsettle Amy. She steps out of the barn, every movement slow, deliberate. Lou's eyes widen when she sees the fear on Amy's face. Real fear, not the kind she hides behind calm expressions and quiet strength. Jack steps aside just enough for Amy to stand beside him, but not enough for Nathan to come closer. Nathan looks straight at Amy. "You promised you'd tell them," he says, his voice low but trembling. "You said when the time was right, the truth wouldn't come from me. But it's been months, Amy. I can't keep holding it." Jack's head snaps toward Amy. Lou looks at her too, confusion turning into concern. "What truth?" Jack demands. Amy feels her throat close. She wishes she could run, hide, stop time, anything but this. But Nathan doesn't wait. His frustration finally breaks free. "Ty didn't leave because he wanted to," Nathan says quietly. "He left because of what we found, what we saw, and what Amy swore she would never let become public." The yard falls silent. The night wind stops. Even the horses sense something irreversible has been said. Jack's voice is barely controlled. "Amy, what is he talking about?" Amy feels tears burn behind her eyes, but she shakes her head, trying to steady herself. "I didn't want this to hurt anyone. I didn't want to open something that should have stayed buried." Nathan steps forward, unable to hold back anymore. "But it didn't stay buried. It followed us here. It followed you. And now everyone is in danger because nobody knows the truth." Amy turns away, her chest tightening with guilt. This was the moment she feared, the moment everything would fall apart. Jack places a trembling hand on her shoulder. Amy, he whispers, did something happen before Ty left? Something you didn't tell us? Her eyes fill. Her voice shakes. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I could protect everyone, but I was wrong. Nathan closes his eyes, as if relieved that she finally said it out loud. Lou steps closer to Amy. Protect us from what? Amy finally lifts her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. And then, with the weight of months pressing against her chest, she whispers the words that shatter the quiet night. It wasn't an accident, and Ty knew the truth before anyone else. The silence that follows is colder than winter, and nothing in Heartland will ever be the same after this. The moment Amy's words leave her mouth, the atmosphere at Heartland shifts completely. It's as if the ground itself pauses, waiting for the next heartbeat. Jack's hand slips away from Amy's shoulder, not out of anger, but from the shock hitting him deeper than anything he expected tonight. Lou's breath catches sharply, her hand instinctively covering her mouth. And Nathan finally lets out a long, heavy exhale, the kind that comes from months of carrying something too big for one person alone. Amy wipes her tears, but they keep coming. Her voice shakes as she continues. Ty didn't leave because he wanted distance, or time, or space. He left because the person responsible for what happened that day wasn't a stranger. It was someone connected to Heartland, someone close enough to watch everything without being seen. Jack looks stunned. Amy, why didn't you say something? Why didn't Ty tell me? Because he didn't want revenge, Amy whispers. He wanted to stop a bigger disaster before it reached this family, and he hoped that once the truth became clear, things would settle. But nothing settled. Instead, everything got worse. Nathan steps closer, his voice soft but firm. Ty and I found evidence. More than Amy knew at the time. Enough to prove what really happened. Enough to understand why it couldn't be exposed yet. But Ty wanted Amy to tell the family first, before it went to anyone else. The weight of those words crushes the silence. Lou finally finds her voice. So Ty left to protect us? Amy nods. Yes, and because he knew that the truth would destroy someone if it came out too early. He thought leaving was the safest way to buy time. But it also broke him inside. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to leave me, or Lindy, or any of you. Jack swallows hard, trying to process the revelation. The betrayal, the danger, the fear, it all blends into a storm inside him. And who did this? Who hurt Ty? Who put this family at risk? Amy hesitates. Her lips tremble. Her body stiffens like she's bracing for impact. Nathan looks at her, silently urging her to speak. But Amy can't. Not yet. I can't say the name, she finally whispers. Not until Ty confirms everything himself. Not until we're all safe. Jack steps back, disbelief mixing with pain. Amy, we're your family. We deserve to know. I know, she cries. I know, but every time I tried to say something, I felt like I was pulling danger closer. I thought if I stayed quiet, I could keep Heartland safe, but now the truth is here whether I'm ready or not. Nathan lowers his head. And the person behind all this, they're getting impatient. They know Ty didn't disappear. They know he's close to exposing them, and they're making moves again. Lou's face tightens with fear. What kind of moves? Threats, Nathan says. Warnings, not just to Ty, to Amy, to Heartland. Jack's fists clench. He steps forward, fury burning in his eyes. The quiet, gentle grandfather transforms into someone ready to defend his family at any cost. No more secrets, no more hiding. Amy, if someone is threatening this ranch, we face it together. Amy nods slowly, feeling the weight lift just slightly from her chest. You're right. I can't hide anymore. But then Nathan adds something that sends another chilling wave through the night. There's more, he says. Ty left Heartland to gather proof, but he didn't leave alone. There's someone helping him, someone none of you expect. Amy's eyes widen, panic returning instantly. She looks at Nathan as if begging him not to continue. But he does. And that person is coming back soon, with Ty. And the final piece of the truth no one was ready for. The wind picks up, rustling the trees, carrying a sense of danger and change across the ranch. Because now, the biggest secret of all is about to collide with Heartland. and nothing will ever return to how it once was. And now, as the night settles over Heartland, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Everything the family thought they knew was only the surface of a much deeper storm. Amy's confession has shaken the ranch to its core. Jack's trust has been tested in a way he never imagined. Lou is left trying to hold everyone together while fear quietly grows inside her. And Nathan's arrival has revealed something none of them were ready to face. The danger that has been circling them for months is closer than ever. But this isn't the end. This is only the beginning of a chapter that will change Heartland forever. Because Ty is out there, fighting a battle no one fully understood until now. Gathering evidence, uncovering secrets, and preparing to return with the truth that could either save everyone or tear everything apart. And he's not coming back alone. Someone unexpected is with him, someone whose presence will shake the ranch just as much as the truth itself. Every unanswered question, every fear Amy tried to bury, every warning Nathan delivered tonight, it all leads to one moment that has not arrived yet. A moment when the truth finally comes home. And when it does, Heartland won't just face a mystery. It will face a turning point, one that will test love, loyalty, forgiveness, and the strength of family in ways no one has seen before. So as the ranch goes quiet and the night grows deeper, one thing becomes clear. The storm is coming. Amy knows it, Jack feels it, Lou senses it, and Ty's walking straight toward it with the truth in his hands. What happens when he returns? What happens when the final secret is revealed? And who is the unexpected person helping him? All of that and the truth no one was prepared for waits in the next episode of Heartland Season 19. Until then, hold on tight. Because the calm you see now, it's only the silence before the loudest storm Heartland has ever faced.